We are also monitoring the situation at the White House, where protesters are demonstrating now, calling for an end to this war. NewsNation's Alina Sharari live at the White House. Alina, what are we expecting to see today? It looks like you've got a big group behind you.
Laura, good to be with you today. Yeah, a lot of people bussed in last night as well as this morning from across the country to be here at this protest. They're calling the Red Line protest, where we know that people will be lining up in a red line to represent the red line they say Biden has not drawn in this war. But as you mentioned, Laura, it is a very sizable crowd. Over the past hour, we have seen the numbers really start to swell here. You can see that is where that stage is, and that is where we expect to hear some speakers. But the main action, again, as I mentioned, in front of the White House, you can see that barricade set there to protect the area. Again, organizers of the event saying Biden swore the invasion of Rafah would serve as a red line for the administration. But as the invasion of Rafah has continued for weeks, organizers here saying Biden's red line is nowhere to be seen. We know historically Biden has said he would stop the flow of military aid to Israel if they did in fact cross that line. Reporters asked about that in a recent State Department briefing, really pressing the administration. Here's a little bit from that exchange from the administration's point of view.
So with respect to the policy that the president announced, he was speaking specifically to a large-scale operation in Rafah, and we have not yet seen a large-scale operation conducted in Rafah. That said, we have seen strikes that put civilians in danger well before the president said that, and we have made clear to the government of Israel that we expect them to do everything that they can to minimize civilian harm.
And the State Department also said it was not the IDF's intention to kill people, to kill civilians. It was their intention to kill 2 IDF military people, which they said they have successfully done in that strike. But again, we know that a lot of upset and discontent with what has been going on here with the Biden administration, of course, as we near an election as well, Laura.
Sure. And, you know, I imagine that the tone maybe has changed a little bit with the news of the release of those hostages this morning. So what are protesters hoping will happen after today? Are they making demands?
Yeah, Laura, they're asking for a ceasefire. They're asking for the release of Palestinian prisoners. We actually spoke with the organizer of this event who tells us Biden's goalpost keeps moving, and that's why they're so unhappy. Here's a little bit from that exchange, Laura.
It's clearly wordsmithing and maneuvering to try to avoid accountability of the U.S. population. What they define as a large-scale operation, the goalposts keep moving. I'm pretty sure that over 36,000 dead, and there's thousands more unaccounted for under the rubble still, is this large-scale operation, bombing schools, bombing refugee tents with U.S. weapons, both the school and the tents.
Again, we know that there's been a large swell of people starting to gather here, and there's actually over my left shoulder, if we can pan, a sort of line formation and march starting to take place, Laura. So again, we have started this protest about 5 minutes ago officially, so we'll continue to see what protesters do and what they say here in Lafayette Square, again, right outside of the White House, Laura.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your screen. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.